Hello, I'm Chris, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. You gotta hand it to Dior, they do know how to rinse the absolute most money out of a fragrance line. But this time, there's a difference. New perfumer, new type of fragrance, water. Is it really as bad as I've been hearing? I mean, it's Dior. Can it really be that bad? Big swings here from Dior. They are probably the first, I think, mainstream fragrance house to create a water-based version of one of their most popular fragrances. We do not have Francois Demachy anymore, it is Francis Kurkdjian. Has he managed to do the business with Sauvage Eau Forte? It's risky. The legendary house of Dior, and you're going with water? Well, I mean, that guy's got balls. I mean, he's a man, so yeah, of course he has. So let me run through the other Sauvages we've had. We've had the original EDT, which was a beast. I quite enjoyed it, but gets a little bit of flack in the community because it's just so popular and so common, but I think it's a pretty decent fragrance. And then the EDP was good, the Parfum was good, but they all kind of smelled very similar. But then, and this is where Dior's big swings come in, they brought out Elixir and started off a whole new trend. Thank you, Dior, for that. But Sauvage Elixir was a very good fragrance. Beast mode. You didn't need to spray much of it. If you did, it could become a little bit obnoxious. It seems, though, from what I've been hearing, that from the beast mode powerhouse of Sauvage Elixir, Eau Forte might not be quite that. Gotta be honest with you, I wasn't gonna buy this fragrance. I've heard some pretty negative stuff about it, and I thought, why do I want to spend all that money on something that is potentially not very good? But then I thought, I want to make my own mind up. I might really love it, and that's something that you all should think. Even if you see me give a really good review or a really bad review, always smell it yourself to make your own mind up. I could really love this, so let's find out if I do really love it. So we get it, same type of Sauvage bottle. They've not done anything new at all. They did slightly change the bottle shape for Elixir, but we've gone back to the standard Sauvage bottle shape for Eau Forte. Let's see this beautiful creamy white stuff come out all over my arm. Oh, it's not as creamy, and I thought it was going to be a bit gooier, but that's all right. That's fine. A little bit soapy. Nice. Not getting anything of the original Sauvage, really. Some kind of piney, furry type smell, maybe some cypress, that kind of thing. I've not looked at the notes yet. I'll look at those in a second. It's got a little bit of bite to it. It's got a little bit of punch. It's not Sauvage. It could easily have been released as a fragrance not in the Sauvage line, just based on this very first smell. Almost a little hint of mint, maybe. There is a freshness to it. You know, that smells quite unique as well. I wouldn't say that smells like a generic designer fragrance. It doesn't remind me of anything else. Let me just check up the old notes here. Elemi resin and spices, maybe that's what's giving it the green sort of spiky punchiness. Lavender, musk and woody notes, they seem to be the only notes that we get. What the big question I have is, though, how will this last? If this isn't an alcohol fragrance, if this doesn't have the alcohol to just carry off all the molecules into the air, are we going to get the lift? Are we going to get the spread of scent like we get with alcohol-based fragrances? It is maybe sitting closer to the skin, but I can't fully give you my opinion on that until I've given it a good wearing. So I'm going to go away and give this a full couple of wearings in a couple of different situations, and I'll see if it lasts 30 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, longer, and I will report back. So I'll see you in a second. If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store, luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands, plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description. And we're back. It's a couple of days later, and I'm going to try and share my thoughts on this strong water, because that's what Eau Forte means. I've since realised it's not Eau Forte, I think it's Eau Forte. Strong water. Is it strong? No, but it is stronger than water. Regular water doesn't have much of a smell. It's not got a strong smell. This does smell stronger than water, so I guess we can give it that. I'd like to try and give fair and balanced reviews on this channel, so I'm going to start with a few of the slightly more positive aspects. It's not a horrible smell, it's actually a pleasant smell. I get a minty, creamy type of smell. I don't actually get much lavender coming off on my skin. I did just spray it into the cap a few moments ago, and I do get the lavender more when I do that, but on my skin it just seems to come across as a minty type scent, and I know there's no mint in here. It's probably the LME that's doing that, but I just can't get mint out of my head for some reason. But that's not a bad thing, because, you know, minty fresh can be good. I was prepared for this to just be non-existent. Spray it on and it's gone from other videos that I've watched about this fragrance. But it's not super weak, but it's definitely not super strong. In fact, this is the weakest of all the Sauvage fragrances. This is supposed to be the section I'm finding positive things to say, but yeah, this it's not very strong. There's a mild projection for the first half an hour. I get a little bit more if I spray it on clothes. I was getting wafts for maybe a couple of hours, but it's pretty much a close to the skin type of scent by that stage. So performance was very lackluster, pretty weak performance. Damn, this is supposed to be the positive section. All right, something a little more positive. We've got the white, creamy, milky juice in here, this water-based fragrance. I don't mind it. I don't mind that at all. It sprays on my skin. It doesn't have a horrible residue. Yeah, it makes my skin a little shinier for a little bit of time, but it's fine. The sprayer on the bottle is good. We get an amazing fine mist. I am finding that I'm getting a bit of milky drippage down from the cap though, which is interesting. So you're just gonna keep wiping the atomizer a little bit there. That's a bit strange, but overall this milky white juice, it's fine. And there is a chance that this water-based fragrance, because it is such a big brand being Dior, it could pave the way to other fragrances being created using this same water technology, and I'm down with that. Now to the slightly more negative section. This smells different, but it's a weird different. Like, it doesn't really smell like a cologne. It's quite a basic smell. It doesn't have much complexity, much nuance. It's not very layered. It's kind of this flat smell. It kind of smells more like a toothpaste than a fragrance, and toothpaste in itself is not a bad smell. We've got that minty freshness, but I'm not sure that's the type of scent I want to spray on myself. So I would have really loved this fragrance to be a bit of a game changer, just like Sauvage Elixir was. That created a new trend. It took the Sauvage DNA, it did something new, it made it powerful, it was impactful, it was a statement-making fragrance. This is not a statement-making fragrance. It's maybe making a statement in saying that you can make a fragrance out of water, but other than that, it isn't an impactful type of smell. I would have loved a little more complexity, a bit more nuance, perhaps some herbal notes, maybe a bit of rosemary, maybe something with a bit of punchy depth like a fir resin. But who am I to tell one of the world's best master perfumers how to create a fragrance? I'm nobody. I just talk on video about it. So what do I know? But I'm just telling you what I would have liked. So I was thinking, is it because it's a water-based fragrance? Are they limited in terms of what notes can be executed and how complex and layered this smell can be? I'm not sure they are, to be honest, because there are other water-based fragrances. One of note that I love is from Kajal. This is Lamar Caviar. This is based on their Lamar fragrance, but this is their water-based version, and I think it's called Caviar because this is slightly different. It is still a milky white substance, but you can see, looking in this bottle, it's made up of tiny little pearls of juice, and you can kind of see those shimmering on your skin when you spray it. This has depth, this has complexity, it has nuance, it has projection, it has longevity. This is a beautiful fragrance. I really enjoy it. So I think it can be done. You can create a water-based fragrance that has some structure to it and good performance, but that's not quite what's happened with Sauvage Eau Forte, unfortunately. I'm pretty shocked that Francis Kurkdjian has put out a fragrance that isn't that memorable or impactful for his first one for Dior as well. Let's talk about some situations when you might wear this scent, and I can't really think of that many. Maybe a hot summer's day, you want the refreshing feeling of spraying the water-based fragrance on you, and you want that freshness. They call it an intense freshness, and it is kind of intense. It's just not intense for very long. I wore this for the gym and it worked fine. Other than that, I can't think of many daily situations where I would reach for this fragrance. There's just not enough to it. It's sort of like part of a fragrance that is unfinished and it's waiting for other elements to be added into it. I don't hate the smell. It smells quite pleasant, but it's not that interesting. And with the performance being not that great, there are two pretty strong reasons why I'm not that excited by this fragrance. I hope this is a trailblazer. I hope it encourages other brands to experiment with water-based fragrances. I think that's great. If we can get them good, if we can get them as good as Kajal's La Mar Caviar, this one is proof that water-based fragrances can be good, they can be strong, they can have a complexity to them. But if this one is the one that makes other brands stand up and take notes, and then we can create these fantastic water-based fragrances, then this could go down in history because of that, but I don't think it's gonna go down in history because of how good it smells, unfortunately. All right, for what it's worth, there are my thoughts on the new Sauvage Eau Forte. It's my least favorite of the Sauvage line. I generally do quite like the Sauvage line, especially Elixir, fantastic release. I like all of them, but this one is the least memorable for me, so that's a bit of a shame. Memorable for being a water-based fragrance, but not much else after that. Let me know what you think. Do you like it? Do you think it's a good smelling fragrance? Do you get better longevity than I do? Whack those thoughts in the comments down below. If you thought this video was useful, if you liked it, you know what to do. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, you'll see me in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.